Okay. So good morning, everyone. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to this symposium entitled Allosteric Drug Design, where academia meets pharma. I'm very glad that you made it. Some of you came from far with more or less easy trips. Some of you they woke up very early, either yesterday or today, but I'm very glad that you're here and that you can contribute to the symposium. So, first of all, welcome you. So welcome in Strasbourg, and welcome to Alsace, the beautiful Alsace that you see here. And so the weather is good, or is expected to be good. The wine will also be good in these days, and I hope the science will be great, so that we can make really good thing together. And so also what I wanted to show here, so welcome to ISIS. So the ISIS is the institute that is hosting us, is the Institut des Sciences et d'Ingénierie Supramoléculaire. So that's a sort of a gift that was given to Jean-Marie Lehn after he won the Nobel Prize. And this institute was built in 2003. And last week we celebrated the 20th anniversary. So that's a house of supramolecular chemistry. And what we're going to talk about is obviously involved in supramolecular chemistry and the interactions in one of possible applications, which is biology and pharmacology in particular. So unfortunately, the boss, the chef of the maison, couldn't make it. So Jean-Marie Lehn is saying hi to everyone for you, but he's not in Strasbourg, and so he couldn't come. So one word about the context before starting with lectures. So this symposium is to be understood in the context of the ALLODD, so that's a consortium, so in Allosteric Drug Discovery. So that's a consortium that is funded by the US, by the European community, the EU, obviously. And it's a collaborative project which involves 13 partners among academics and industrial partners. And the topic is allosteric drug design. And so here you can see, if this works, yes, you can see the participant to the ALLODD consortium and the coordinator. So we are all inducted to the effort of the coordinator that is really making a great job to put us together and to foster the interactions among us. And the goal of the consortium is to train a new generation of scientists. So that's an ITN, right? So it's an innovative training network. So in this network, we have groups and we have students. And so both of them, so researchers and students, they play a major role. And the idea is actually to train this new generation of students to exploit the concept of allostery in drug discovery. And so one of the questions that we have is where we are in allosteric drug design. So this event is an opportunity to understand where we are, both from the academic point of view and the industrial point of view. And obviously, so we want to develop a new way of technologies, a new array of technologies to identify and characterize allosteric modulators. So I mean, the coordinator is obviously among us, so she can say hi to everyone. And well, so that's the context of ALLODD. So in this ALLODD consortium, there are, as you know, so on-site meetings and symposia. So the symposium that I'm organizing together with Merck, so Lars Toleikis was here, and Stefan Baker, who could not make it for personal reasons, but he contributed to the organization, and he's actually sorry that he couldn't come. So it's on allosteric drug design, and we want really to find links between academia and pharma. So in a few words, so I just wanted to introduce the symposium with this sentence. So the aim of the symposium is to provide a forum, first of all. So we want to communicate. And we're top academics and industrial partners that work on allosteric drug design could meet, discuss, and find links. So hopefully the symposium will be successful if we can actually meet and discuss and also find links among us. And I'm also very thankful to big pharmas in the Strasbourg area, like Novartis and Roche, who came and are actively contributing to the symposium. And I think that's really a special thing of this event. And so there are questions that we would like to address, and so I want to have these questions, or have you keeping these questions in mind. That is, where are we with allosteric drug design? I mean, can we make it rational, or is it still serendipitous? And do we have actually workflows and protocols that can be used to develop drugs using this concept of allostery and allosteric regulation of proteins? And also where pharma industry is. So do we find these protocols actually applied in the pharma industry? So I don't know whether these questions will be answered in the end, but those are just to set the ground for the symposium. Now, one word about the list of speakers, because I am very proud of it for two reasons. So first of all, because all the persons that I contacted, they actually replied very enthusiastically and very quickly, rapidly, and they actually came eventually. So that's very good. And so we have, it's a 1.5 day symposium, because we start at 2 today. So it's half of the day on Monday and a full day on Tuesday. And you see the composition, let's say, of this list of speakers. And we can find 4 different groups. So, and these groups are color-coded in this way. So we have local speakers from the Strasbourg community. We have national speakers from France, so the larger community in France. We have international speakers in black, and we have speakers from Pharma. And so if you count them up, so you find that we have 4 local speakers, 4 national speakers, 5 international, 5 from Pharma. So it's very, very well balanced. So I'm happy of this result. And we also paid particular attention to have, let's say, make sure that gender was equally contributing to the symposium. Depending on the answer that I had, I was more or less successful, so we're not 50-50, but there's a significant contribution from both sides, and so I'm glad that this happened. Now, so few technical things. So for instance, if you want to connect, so internet connection, you will see coordinates which are posted on the column or on the borders of the room. So generally the EduRoam accounts work fine, so you should be able to do so. But if you don't have an EduRoam account, then please use this ID here. So that's a way of connecting. So if you need internet connection, that's the way. Now, the other thing that I wanted to say is, some of the lectures will be recorded. Obviously, we asked every speaker for an agreement of recording, and so some of you gave this agreement and some of you didn't. So we will register and record only those who gave this agreement. And for doing this, it's a little bit complicated. So we have actually some technical assistance from 2 of my students here. Basically, what the speaker should do is come in with his laptop and then connect in to a Zoom link, to a Zoom session. And then my students will take care of this. And so it will take maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes to set up all the speeches. But so if you decided, or if you agreed on having the lecture recorded, so consider that there's this extra time. So don't feel the pressure about this. Then finally, I would like to thank the sponsors for this symposium. So obviously, first and foremost, the EU and Marie Curie actions, because this symposium is funded with this money. And so that's within the context of ALLODD, but also some local sponsors who were very kind to support this event, because actually people care about interactions between industry and academia. And so the Fondation Jean-Marie, who's actually settled in this building here, so they contributed to this, and the ITE, so the Institut Thématique Interdisciplinaire of the Chemistry of Complex System, contributed also to the symposium sponsoring, and the Valix. And so I'm very glad that also people from Valix are here. So there will be a talk tomorrow from the president of the Valix, and so they all contributed to the réussite of this symposium. And so finally, some acknowledgements, and obviously, generally, the acknowledgements are at the end of the thing, but not to forget people that have contributed, that helped me in organizing it. So my assistants, so Paola Sager and Elisabeth Bacaro, So those are the persons that are very key players when you organize an event. And Paola is there with serving coffees and running every activity that is besides science. And obviously the ALLODD, so I'm very thankful to Zoe and Aspasia. So Aspasia was amazing in all the emails that I sent her, and so she was very reactive to update the program and such. So I'm very thankful to them. And also the organization team, so my team, Gregory, so I just want to spell it right, so Sinenka, who's ESR 11, so Paola Milan, Maria Sekova, and Ragazzi, so because they really contributed to the symposium as well, in a different way. So without delaying further, I think we can go, so I don't know how good I am with the timing.
Perfect.
And so, yes, so I would like to invite to the start Jean-Pierre Chavier for opening the symposium.